Hello and welcome to another ConnectedMinds.ai podcast. Today we will talk about burnout and tips to deal with it effectively. Let's begin. How often have you heard the term burnout? Have you ever faced it? But on the other hand, it might be something you have heard a lot, especially these days when the mental pressures have increased tremendously. This is what we will cover in today's podcast, where we will talk about what burnout is, the different signs of what burnout looks like, and how we can deal with it. The COVID-19 pandemic has tested the patience of many people. It has caused people to evaluate their preferences in life. Even before the COVID-19 pandemic, many people experienced burnout because of their job, studies, or household responsibilities. But the onset of this pandemic has highlighted this topic and made us introspect. We used to keep chasing deadlines along with doing everything that we were supposed to do, that somewhere we forgot. We forgot to take care of ourselves. Because of this, we tend to take on more responsibilities and more roles than we could manage. When we couldn't handle it, it would cause us stress, and the prolonged tension and pressure would ultimately lead to burnout. What exactly do we mean by burnout? Burnout can be described as a mental state where a person feels emotionally, physically, and psychologically drained after being exposed to stress repeatedly. People who work or deal with situations resulting in high amounts of pressure or stress may experience burnout. The reasons for burnout can vary from person to person. For some, burnout may be caused by job-related stress, troubles in relationships, or difficulty in their education. It should also be understood that different people deal with stress differently. What might be a big cause of stress and worry for one person might not be a big issue for another. Burnout can make you feel overwhelmed with emotions and might test your will and patience. It feels exhausting to feel this way, but at the same time you feel helpless. Experiencing burnout can make you feel as if all your energy is lost. Now let's talk about subtle signs of burnout that you need to look out for. Trouble concentrating, feeling emotionally or mentally exhausted, start isolating themselves, feeling of irritation, getting sick frequently or frequent illness, adopting unhealthy eating habits, decreased productivity, disengaging with others, loss of interest in everyday things, the feeling of fatigue and tiredness. How to deal with burnout? 1. Ask yourself the why question. When you realize that you might be experiencing burnout and that you might be too overwhelmed to focus on the source of the burnout, you would be too busy dealing with the effects of burnout that you would probably not wonder as to why you are experiencing this burnout. In those cases, ask yourself the why question. Why are you experiencing this? Is it because of a missed deadline or due to an exhausting relationship? If your answer is yes, then try to go back to where things started to slip your hands. 2. Taking some time off. Taking time off is essential sometimes, especially when you feel overwhelmed with your task. It might not seem feasible to take a break when you have much to do, but it is essential. Taking too much on not only causes burnout, but also makes you feel as if your mind is not functioning. In those situations, taking a break helps to isolate yourself from the stressful situation and focus on your mental health. Taking time off helps to refresh your mind. 3. Accept the reality. Sometimes, even after doing everything in our power, we still cannot catch up on our deadlines or other things which cause us stress. It might make us feel weak and powerless. It is not a good feeling, but no matter how uncomfortable it may seem, we need to accept it. Accept that you cannot do this particular task. Acknowledge that holding on and pushing yourself to the extreme will not benefit you. 4. Try out different approaches. After accepting the reality that you indeed have a lot on your plate, focus on how you can solve it. Try to analyze the situation without taking the stress and see whether there is an easy way to do the task. Chalk out a plan and look for different approaches through which you can eliminate your stress and its source, thereby minimizing your burnout. 5. Don't be so hard on yourself. Life throws around a lot of challenges and obstacles. We surpass some of them and fail in others. But in any case, do not forget to be compassionate towards yourself. While experiencing burnout, it is integral to remind yourself that you can overcome this. Don't be so hard on yourself. Keep telling yourself that it is just temporary and you can overcome it. Show yourself some love and support. Remember that challenging situations are temporary. We can do our best to deal with them, but it is equally important to know when to leave it. Give it your all, but let go if you feel it costs your mental health and peace.